The following presentation is for mature audiences only.
Who are you?
He's a fine man.
All hell is broken loose.
He's a great broadcaster.
He's a very powerful guy. Absolutely brilliant.
Feared by men, adored by women.
He's a smart boy.
It's patriotic.
It's no big deal.
It's the end of the world.
I might as well tell you now. He's a monkey.
And how you doing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? Welcome into another edition of The Wyldeside with Eric Clark. I am your host, Eric Clark, saying thank you for taking time out of your busy day to give my video a watch and a listen. If you like it, like it. If you think other people are going to dig it, give it a share. Go ahead and hit that notification button for the live stream, smash the like button for the algorithm, and of course, make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. If you have a video, band, song, something you want me to check out, the best place to get me a suggestion or a request, if you will, is over on the Discord server. Left-hand side, YouTube reaction requests. Read the pinned message, drop a link and a little description of your video that you want me to check out right there in that sub, and I will get to it when I can. Thank you to Connect 200 Music to See and Aunt Betty's Nut Butter, and thank you to Becca445. For today's recommendation. She said, hey man, check out this band from the 90s. I don't know if you remember them. So today we are checking out a band called TheVeldt. TheVeldt. I guess Aphrodisiac is the album from 94. The track is called Soul in a Jar. Very familiar title. So let's check it out on the Wyldeside. TheVeldt. 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 I remember this. This was on a Beavis and Butthead. This was on a Beavis and Butthead. I remember this.
I can't hold a candle to your love, baby. My entity, you set me free. Take my mind up to the next plane. Take me down, solid ground. You know I wouldn't have it any other way. Oh no. Like solid steel, draw near. When I move, I feel it in me. Soul in a jar, how wonderful thou art. You're everything inside me to make me whole. But you must know I wouldn't have it any other way.
Out of hooks.
So in a jar, come so far.
Dude, I remember this track. I do. I actually have a story about it. All right, so I was working at a station in Chattanooga when this came out. And as a music director, some of you may remember living in that time. We watched Beavis and Butthead for a very good reason. I think we forget how they dictated a lot of careers. They really did. They changed the trajectory of a lot of bands, and I think people forget that. And I remember this was on a Beavis and Butthead. It was on a Beavis and Butthead, and it followed, stay with me here, it followed Green Day, because Dookie had just released, and we were playing Longview. And I remember this band didn't get added because we had already added a song called Soul in a Jar from a band called Fish. But I remember that. That is a perfect example of 90s mainstream rhythmic rock song right there. That is a great example of what was flooding the market in the early to mid 1990s. It checks every box. And what I like about that track, there's this expression we have, more hooks than a tackle box. Everything about that track hooks you. Every single instrument has a hook to it. From the obvious guitar hook to his vocal hook, the bass has hook. But really what stands out for me in that one right there is the super sneaky, subtle, complicated drumming. Very cool drumming. It reminded me of, don't take this the wrong way, Stuart Copeland. Stuart Copeland plays a lot of unexpected rolls, fills, and time signatures. Unexpected in where he plays. He plays a lot of high end, so he plays a lot of cymbal, right? Watching him, he's doing these really cool fills when you don't expect it. And they're super clean, they're savage, there's almost a vulgarity to it. This drummer is dragging you through this track, and you're connected to it immediately. That primitive connection that you make to a drum track. And then when you start to listen to it closely, you hear how complicated it is. Even though the connection you're making to it is very simple, it's very straightforward. It's that primitive, almost a cadence, almost a march is what you're in. And yet when you're listening to it, there's really cool stuff going on. And that guitar player captured the tone of a time. Let's see, I hope that makes sense. The tone of a time. There's this expression we had, don't bore us, get to the chorus. You hear why I push that track. As soon as you hear it, you're like, bro, this has got the hooks, it's got it, let's go. All right, but I think it fell into this weird ether at that time. Because we had added a track called Soul in a Jar by Fish, and Green Day had dropped Dookie, and that really did change the sound moving forward. So Green Day, Offspring, that tone moving forward. This tone here, the rhythmic rock, it started to get plateaued out when it came from support from labels and things like that. But I remember that because that was on a Beavis and Butthead, and we watched Beavis and Butthead because it gave us direction as music directors. Okay, man, we're going to watch Beavis and Butthead. They'll tell us, Mike Judge, who was a roadie for Jimmy Vaughn and Doyle Bramall and stuff. I mean, the guy was a legitimate rocker. So we paid attention to Beavis and Butthead. And I remember that was on a Beavis and Butthead. And I'm pretty sure it followed a Green Day track. Somebody could look that up and fill me in on that. But that is a great example, perfect example of a brilliantly layered and put together, yet simplistically crafted, rhythmic, mainstream, active rock track. It's exactly what you want. And that dude's vocals, I don't know that guy's name, but that guy's vocals reminds me of a cat named Crispin. And Crispin is the lead singer of a band called the Veer Union. And I remember hearing a song called Seasons the first time. And I thought, okay, those are great vocals, but I want to see him live. I want to see him do it live. And then he came into our station and did the track acoustic. And I'm like, okay, bro, one of the best vocalists out there. I don't know if you know who the dude is, but he reminds me a lot of this guy, Crispin. His vocals carry this desperation mixed with an innocence that allows you to fold into that rhythm, right? So there's no stark contrast to the rhythm, to the weird out-of-time drumming now and again, to the guitar hooks, to that cool funk bass line that's also creating, the bass and the drums. They're building that foundation. They're the ones building that really cool funky rhythm that's underneath, and the guitar and the vocals add that rock, similar to how Jane's Addiction did it. So you're getting this really cool blend of these layers, and his vocals are just so clean, and they're so thick and rich in their texture that it adds this really beautiful, lighter earth colors, the sky colors. I call them life colors. They're the yellows, the pinks, and they're all bright, but not hyper glow, right? They're not fluorescent, but they're really bright and rich and deep when you look at them, and high gloss. That's his vocals. His vocals are high gloss. So very, very good example of what was in the market in the mid-'90s. Perfect example of a great rhythmic rock track. TheVeldt, SoulInAJar. I believe the album is Aphrodisiac from 1994. Becca, 445. Want to make sure I get your numbers in there for some reason. Maybe it's your area code. I don't know. So thank you for that suggestion. Great throwback. Great memories of sitting in my apartment watching Beavis and Butthead and going, oh, yeah, man. And we were flooded with so much of this great music. It's awesome to re-find these gems once again. So thank you, Becca, for that. Took me back to a great place. Great song going into the library. Thank you very much. Thank you for taking time out of your day to hang out with us on the east side of Music City, USA. Thank you to Connect 200 Music to see an Aunt Betty's Nut Butter. Make sure you're looking out for each other. Make sure you're looking out for your neighbor. Try to do at least one good thing a day. I am Eric Clark, and this is The Wyldeside.